it's good on your end as well.
Yeah, it's coming up. Let me just check volume. That just came. Okay, I saw your notification. Yeah, we good. We live.
It's good. All right, hey, shalom, shalom. We want to start by saying, Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahushai, Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahushai, Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahushai, and Kalama Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. And also the honor to the pastors, the other bishops, and the elders Grand Muslim who rule well, and also shalom to Sisi Akim there pushing truth in the name of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashukwa Kodash, who happen to be scattered around the four corners of the earth, and also shalom to Sisi Aqua Fato. And today we're back again with another live lesson with a brother from GMS Melbourne. You can introduce yourself, Akim.
Shalom, Akim Yabashim Yahushai Baraka Thumb. I'm your brother Matazaba from GMS Melbourne Camp here in Australia. Shalom.
Right, and today we're going into this lesson, and the video we're gonna play. I don't think the video is even 4 minutes long, but this this little video here is so powerful. And when the brother sent the video to me today, I was like, man, we gotta speak on it because it shows you that a lot of same people of our nation. I'm talking about Jake or even Esau, the heathens. God damn. They know who the devil is and who the man that rules the earth. Okay, they know it, and they're gonna come out and say it. Some of them they'll tell you who it is, but some of them they're gonna speak like this individual here who kept I would say used wisdom. You can't come back and bash him. He used cold words, and you gotta figure you literally have to be in spirit to understand who he's talking about. And he's going into what is it, colonialism?
Yeah, colonialism. Yep.
Colonialism, and then and I think the brother got a definition pulled out. So we're gonna read the definition of what that word mean, and then from there, and go from there in the spirit, flowing, it be edified.
Con. You want me to start the video?
You want to get the definition?
Yep, we'll get the definition. Yeah. Okay, pull up this definition here. Now this is on Chat GPT, and we just typed it in just to see what it gives us. So I asked Chat, what is colonialism and its etymology? It says the definition of colonialism is the practice by which a nation establishes control over a foreign territory, settles its own people there, and exploits the land, resources, and or indigenous population for economic, political, or strategic gain.
Right. There you go. And there's more good information there too.
Yeah. It says it usually involves political domination, economic exploitation, cultural or religious imposition, settlement of colonizing population. Historically, colonialism is associated with European expansion from the 15th to the 20th centuries, which consists of Spain, Portugal, Britain, France, Netherlands, etc. Though forms of colonial expansion existed long before that in ancient empires, Assyrian, Roman, and Persian. There you go. So essentially, when you understand the scriptures, and this is why it's important, because the Bible tells what's that, Romans 15:4, whatsoever things were written aforetime was written for our learning. Now remember, children of Israel, according to the curses, we will be scattered. And when I say we, I'm referring to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. And especially when you read the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it literally breaks it down. It tells you that, we will be scattered across the wind, all right, and that we will be at the bottom. But prior to being scattered, it also tells you in the Old Testament that the heathen that the Heavenly Father Yahweh was sore displeased with the heathen because they helped to forward our affliction. And the number one heathen nation that just took it to a whole nother level through, rape, rob, pillage, and everything under the sun was Esau. And that's why it even said it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it even tells us in the verses that something to the effect where he will have no pity even on the elderly.
Yeah. That's scripture.
Yeah. So when you look at this, and it's telling us historically, with a name, countries like Spain, Britain and France, they all had a part to play within our downfall, especially when you talk about the 7 heads in Revelation, the 13th chapter. And that's going into the government structures that Esau ruled out of, mainly starting with the Greek Empire.
That's right.
You got it, Salakia.
Oh no, you could, man. Hey, that was on point. I had you had mentioned something in there, and I was gonna get a precept for you if you don't mind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is the book of let me see. Also, because before we play the video, which I'm gonna get this precept and back up the brother. Genesis 27 and verse 40. No, 40. This is the book of Genesis chapter 27 and verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, and it's talking about Esau, because when you read verse 38, which let me read it. It says, And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Okay, this is after Jacob supplanted Esau. His blessing was taken away from him. All right, came back crying. All right, and it says in verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, that the willing shall be the fatness of the earth. And then Esau didn't really come into this fulfillment of the scripture from the time of Genesis. That's when it started from there. Okay. It says, Behold, that the willing shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. Okay, and that's when Esau finally, took over from the time of from the Renaissance. From that time, he went and did what we just read in the brother just read from the definition of colonialism. That's when Esau started with it. Okay. Anything you want to say out there before I go on?
Khan, just to touch on that point. Now, notice right here, it says literally colonialism equals the system or practice of establishing settlements in foreign lands. Now, when you understand the scriptures and how the Heavenly Father set up everything, can you, Babakwa Shah, go to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8 and 9, Babakwa Shah, and then I'm going to get a precept to land back right off.
Deuteronomy chapter 32?
Yep.
And
verses 8 and 9, I believe.
Beautiful. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8. It says, When the Most High Yahweh divided to the nations the inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Right. So when you have to understand, when you read the scriptures, the nation of Israel, we were the last nation to be fully established, right? So prior to the Heavenly Father getting everybody else situated, okay, they already received their own inheritance, which consists of their land. Okay, then also when you go into the Apocrypha, it tells you that he gave every people a ruler to rule over them, but his inheritance was always Israel. Now, the reason why I say that is because this is Deuteronomy 19 and 14, because we were given laws dealing with landmark and testimonies, right? So it says Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that Yahweh thy power giveth thee to possess it. Now, Edom, okay, the Idumeans, their land was they were given Mount Seir, okay, which today is located in Petra, Jordan. All right, and judging by the definition here, where it says colonialism literally is the system or practice of establishing settlements in foreign lands. When this devil got into power, the first thing that they did was they started wherever they conquered, they called those lands after their own names. And we can get that if you want in Psalms 49 and 11.
Yeah, I'll get it. And also, going back to Deuteronomy 32, you can find, if brothers want to trace that, they can go ahead and find that in the book of Genesis, the 10th chapter. And then I think First Chronicles. Hold on, let me double check it to make sure. Second, hold on, stuck here. Here we go. So Genesis, the 10th chapter, and then what else? And First Chronicles chapter 1 from verse the whole chapter. It goes, it goes into the names of the sons of Noah, from the three sons, you hear nations, and and then today that's where you see, like, I give an example, Israel, when you go there, you're gonna know where they dwell from there. As the time went on, the sons of Japheth, you're gonna know what land they were in. The sons of Ham, you're gonna know what land they were in. But eventually, what took place as we in the town we're in right now, what happened is Esau caused confusion to where now you don't know where the sons of Japheth were, prior time. Or the sons of Ham, they're gonna say they're in the land of Africa, but no, that's a lie. The Israelites, the Israelites as well, which now the Israelites is the so-called Negroes, Native Americans lying. But you tell Esau, what about the Native Americans? What do they feel under?
Right.
What's he gonna tell you? Liars. The Native Americans is gonna be lies. The African Americans, it's gonna be lies as well. They're gonna say, oh, they're Africans now. No, they ain't. And then he's gonna have himself in the land of Israel, talking about we the chosen people. That's Isaiah 25 and 7.
That's right. Yeah.
Isaiah 25 and 7. So you hear Psalms 49, right?
Yeah, Psalms 49 and 11.
Yeah. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. It says, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Right. So that's why today you'll have the so-called white T-man. They'll call themselves Americans or Europeans or Canadians or Australians or whatever.
New Zealand.
New Zealanders, and they're not those ethnicities by any chance. All right. They're Idumeans, okay, which is the Greek way of saying Edom. All right, they're Esau, Edom. That's what they are according to their biblical nationality. All right, but the whole point of the matter when you deal with the context of colonialism is, in order for them to take over these lands by establishing settlements in foreign lands, they would have been given the power to do so. And that leads us back to Job chapter 9 and verse 24, when it talks about the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And who is the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4, Esau, Edom. You see what I'm saying? And that just goes to prove to you that, when you kind of pull back, because we was talking about this last night in our previous lesson, and you quoted it, which is Isaiah the 25th chapter, that veil is being pulled off the nations now. So the truth, as it says in the Apocrypha, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. Now, truth is actually now starting to be declared right now. Okay, that veil that was once upon all the nations, okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is pulling off that veil, because we're in the time of the man of sin is now being revealed. Okay, so the skirts has been lifted off of Babylon the Great. Okay, and everything is exposed. That's how you know that we're truly at the end of his rulership. We're at the end of his downfall. But you got it.
Yeah. And then another priest I have for you, Aki, is Micah 2, Micah chapter
Yeah.
2, verse 2. It says,
Mhm.
and they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, man.
Right.
You know,
They
that's
press a man in
you
his
want to speak? You
house.
can speak on it.
Yeah.
You got it.
They oppress a man in his house and a man in his heritage. When they came over to the Americas, all right, back in the late 1400s, they founded the Northern Kingdom. All right. And one of the things that they did was they automatically knew that, hey, we can use these people, we can put them to work. Okay. And the video that we got lined up with you, this actor, Boris, he's actually going to tell you exactly how they implement that. And that's the same strategy that they are still doing to this day to day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Which is
they'll
scriptural.
come, yeah, they'll come in, all right, and they'll, kind of get a feel for you, and then they'll see, okay, look, we may not be able to do this with them, so we're gonna have to trick them to doing this. We're gonna give them this. We're gonna try to weaken them, and if we can, we're gonna start to make them fight against each other. And you
Yep.
probably
Keep
would have
going.
saw that.
Keep going. Keep going. I gotta check
Okay,
something real quick.
come. So essentially what the Edomites like to do is they have a formula that they like to use. Okay. And based upon that formula, if it ain't broke to them, they're not going to fix it. Okay. And what you'll come to find out is the Bible even tells you that they are known as the basis of all men. Okay. They're not clever. Okay. But they are very cunning and they are very crafty. Okay. And so through process of time with them being in rulership, essentially what they do is they'll put a group of people against one another, and once that ethnicity of group of people start to fight each other and go at each other's necks or whatever the case may be, so much so to the point to where they are able to weaken each other, then here comes, all right, the wicked one, all right, to take over of whatever is left from the slaughter. Okay, and then he'll come in and establish his rule, he'll establish his authority, he'll give you his religion, okay, and everything else under the sun that evolves around him. Okay, and now you have to answer to him. And what you're going to see in this video that we have lined up for you is exactly the characteristic of these Edomites, man. Okay, so that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? So that and that's beautiful that the brother wanted to start off with the definition, because it just goes to show you that by process of elimination, what group of people on the planet Earth right now is responsible, okay, for the atrocities, the outrages, and everything
That's
that
the
they've
word.
done.
Atrocity. That's the word.
Yeah, you know what I mean? What nation of people is responsible for the atrocities, the outrages against all these other nations around the world? Okay, that's why Elder Malcolm, he's always known for his lessons. He always talk about when they throw in that term, democracy, grenade, democracy. Okay, oh, that place needs a little bit of democracy, so we're going to go and invade it. Okay, and they use their propaganda, they make up some BS or whatever. Okay, and then they'll get the people to turn against whoever is currently sitting in office. They'll get him out, and then they'll put a puppet in. All right, so they can change the regime.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's Esau.
I don't know. Let me get rid. I don't know what their problem is. All right, I got rid of it.
Yeah. Block all them fucking scoffers, man.
Yeah, that's it. We're not doing that tonight. Anyway, Salaki, go ahead.
Fuck that. Now, anyway, so let's go back to Deuteronomy 32, verse 9.
Yep.
Because you want me to read that one as well, right?
Yeah. Come.
It says, for the Lord Yahweh, his portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Right. So, what you have to understand is the Heavenly Father through His Son Yahweh Shai had already established the other nations first. We were the last nation to fully be established, right? And when you understand that, when it comes to the inheritance, because that's the focus point, which is going to lead us back to showing you how this devil had acquired everything that he's acquired today, because the brother read it earlier, starting off at Genesis the 27th chapter, going into his blessing. And you have to find out one of the key aspects of the blessing was he was blessed with the sword.
Oh yeah, I gotta go read it. I didn't read that one yet.
Then read that. Okay, Salaka, go ahead.
Yeah.
You can.
No, you know you good. So let me go. This is the book of Genesis 27 and verse 40. It says, and by thy sword thou shalt leave. Second, and by thy sword thou shalt leave, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, and thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. You know, and
Yep.
then you want to speak on that or?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
basically the sword, which the modern day sword today will be, you know, your pews, you know, your weaponry, your missile, you know, the ICBM missiles, all that will be your modern day swords, right? Now, when these devils came into power, when they first came into power under the Greeks, okay, it tells you in First Maccabees that let me grab that for you real quick, because that one is important. Because when Alexander the Great, when he first came into power, right here, it tells you First Maccabees, and let me get to the point. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna just start at the top, because the point is in the first few verses. It says, and it happened. Actually, let me take this down and put this up. And let's go over here. All right, so this is First Maccabees 1:1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, has smitten Darius, king of the Persians and the Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. All right, now this is the first time the Edomites came into power. All right, because when you trace Alexander's lineage, his father Philip being a Macedonian, which you'll come to realize is that the Macedonians were Agagites, okay, which is a line that goes back to the Amalekites. All right, and Amalek was the chief tribe of the nation of Edom. All right, but it goes on to say, verse 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So the key point is that he took the spoils of many nations, and within those spoils, that there was lands, okay?
Yep.
Because the Macedonians, they were never Greeks, but he was known as the first king of Grecia, right? They called themselves Greek. They were never the real Greeks. The real Greeks were your Ionians, your Minoans, which today, the classified group of people that make up those ancient names will be your modern day Polynesians, okay, your Tongans, your Hawaiians, all right, your Modis, okay, New Zealanders, all right,
Samoans, Aboriginal of Australia.
right, the Aborigines of Australia, Papua New Guinea, any of these islands that are under what's known as the Indiana or the Indian archipelago, okay, which is a substitute of just many lands and stuff. As the brother mentioned, when you go back to Genesis, the 10th chapter, and you deal with the sons of Japheth, they were known as the Isles of the Gentiles. When you go into that word isle and you read it in the Hebrew lexicon, it talks about the Indian archipelago. That's what they would end up. So that's proven that your modern day Polynesians and stuff like that, they are the sons of Japheth.
Yep.
All right. And they are your true Grecians. You know, when you look up like the Etruscans, okay, you got your Fijians and all that stuff. When you look at the terracotta images of the Etruscans, that's who you'll see. They look exactly like them people. Those were the real people back then, before the Edomites came over, you know, and did what they did. As a matter of fact, if you don't mind,
Yeah, go ahead.
you can speak. Let me get this website.
I was gonna go back to Genesis 27 and 40 in NLT. Says, you will live by your sword, talking about Esau, and you will serve your brother. Which you know, if you want to find the history on that, you can go to the book of 2 Samuel chapter 18 verse 14. You know, it's through the whole Bible when Esau was under the subjection of you know, the kings of Judah. Okay, and Esau got his head handed, man. His ass got handed. Okay, you know, was that David that was throwing Edomites off the cliff?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
That was David, right? Or was that another
Edomite
king?
people.
I'm mistaken.
Oh, I gotta check that one. It's been a minute. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Let me see.
Yeah, and then when Esau, yeah, I don't know if it's David or not. You know, if a brother or not, and brothers not watching, if they know, they can put that in the comment board. But I want to say it was one of the king of Judah. Okay, it was one of the king of Judah. And then when Esau broke off his yoke from that, him being under the Israelites, when he broke that yoke, you can find that account in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 8, verse 20. And I'll read it here. It says, in his days, Edom revolt from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves. And that's when these devils broke off that yoke from the sons of from the Judah or from Judah, and from that time on, that was it. Okay.
That's right.
And then to where eventually, when you go back to Genesis, it says, and when you decide to break, so when you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck, and that's what eventually took place. But what's going to happen in the future, though, which the future is now, it's already starting right now by the brothers receiving the Holy Spirit in them to know who they are. That's the house of David being put together again. What's going to happen once this house is established? Shall returns. King David is here. The 144, all sealed up, and they get delivered out of here. When they come back over here, Esau, you coming back under that same yoke you were under, during the time of David. Okay, you're gonna have to be, what's the word, man? Is it subject unto us, right?
They're going to be subjects unto us. Yep.
Yeah, you're going to be subject unto us, you and the rest of the nations. But this time, though, what David did back to you, Edomites back then, that was cute compared to what we're going to do to you, because you've done the worst. From that time to, from the time you came in Parliament, the shit you did, not even that. How about Shemshai going to put that spirit upon us to go back from the time we were coming out of the wilderness?
Mm-hmm.
What you did, right? That was coming out of the wilderness, right?
That's right.
Yeah, from that time, we're gonna remember everything is gonna be shown. What you were doing to really make us angry, man. You know how you got them house niggas who don't want to really be mad at Esau. Well, if Yahweh Shemshah showed you everything they did, man, them just will be the first ones to get a gun and go start shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my point on the argument.
Fine. And to further prove what we were initially going over about, Esau conquering different ethnicities' land. This is one example in secular history. Now here, you can see just by looking at the terracotta relief of this Etruscan, he looks like your modern day islander, Polynesian, right?
Your wide nose,
Yep, the wide nose. Okay, the beards and stuff. All right.
The beard,
now
the hair.
The head. Now check this out. Now the Etruscans, all right, when you do your research, they were an offshoot branch from the Minoans or the Ionians, going back to one of the sons of Javan or Yawan in Genesis the 10th chapter. Right now, real quick, we're dealing with Etria, and it says the Eurasian invasion, and you're going to find out who invaded their land. Okay, and we've already linked this with prophecy, because the scriptures tells you, as the brother read in Psalms the 49th chapter, they call their lands after their own names, meaning the lands that they have conquered. So it says, when last we left Etria, we were mystified by the Etruscans' policy of not helping each other when faced with a common threat. This incredible policy would, of course, have devastating effects. And moving ahead to perhaps 1100 BC, it is about this time that the albino people, okay, now they call them albino, but really it's the Edomites from the Eurasian plains, now called the Latins.
Yes, like crazy how they call them albino, because back then the word white exist.
Yep. Let me shalom, Yabashima Shabarakatah. Let me do this in case the elder want to come in and get some. All right, more than welcome to come up. So basically, albino, right? It says from the Eurasian plains, now called the Latins, later known as the Romans. Now, there's a book from the beloved brother Yawasop from GMS El Paso, Texas, the camp out there, and he actually did a beautiful breakdown where he went into this book, and they showed proof that the so-called white tea people today, the Edomites, they took over Rome. They took it from the Etruscans, and then they called themselves the Romans. They were never the real Romans. You know what I'm saying? And I got to get the name of that book. But when I get the name of that book and that information, I'll send it to you. But it actually showed, it said in the book that they actually took over Rome. They were never known as the real Romans, but they actually called themselves Romans. And this is how they did it. It says, they later migrated in. It says these Latins may have accompanied the Hellenes into Greece, right? And they've accompanied. When it says they accompanied the Hellenes into Greece, it's because they were one and the same people. Okay, whether they was calling themselves Greeks or they was calling themselves Romans, it really didn't matter. At the end of the day, they were the same group of people. All right, they Edomites. Right, yeah. So it says. These Latins may have accompanied the Hellenes into Greece and then continue on into Italy. And the nature of the early contact between the two peoples is unknown, but the later relationship is well known to be one of violence. Now, you read Micah 2, and 2 where it says they covet a person's field, right, and they take it over by violence, a person's field, right, their inheritance. You see what I'm saying?
And then remember, we read about that for that shit, leave and
That's right. That's right. Yeah. It says, but the later relationship is well known to be one of violence. Soon after the invasion of the whites from Eurasia began, a coalition of the original black inhabitants of Italy, Greece, and the Aegean area formed a conglomeration called the Sea People. And they boarded ships with all of their belongings and fled the area. But those that stayed behind still had to deal with the white newcomers. And I was talking about Esau, Edom. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, Elder Shalom. Yahabashim Shabarakatah. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Elder. Yahabashim Shabarakatah.
Yeah, I'm just a brother, man. We all fighting for the same cause, brother.
That's right.
Because that's how these jet fighters got over here, man. Right, they got pushed out over time, and it's just linked up with the brother just said. I think what he says the nature of the early contact between the two peoples is unknown. You can know that it's violent because anytime Esau have contact with pre-contact people, it's always violent. But later, the relationship is well known to be one of violence. Please remember that we are using the terms Latin and Hellenist in reference to the Eurasian albinos as convenience only. Soon after the invasion of whites from Eurasia began, a coalition of the original black, which in reality, they were dark-skinned people. These are Japanese, right? I saw a video recently. I'm Salaki, brother. It's a little bit of feedback coming from one of your brothers. It's all the Yashima.
Could be because outside. Yeah, Salakia.
It's all good. I was just letting you know. But what I was gonna say was I'm sorry, brother. What I was gonna say was that's how they got over here. Remember forced migration. They was escaping Esau, right? They were escaping Esau in these different situations. And then Esau, once he got them up out of there, he just took on their heritage like he do everybody else's.
Right.
That's right. Somebody, the dude say, "What was our cause?" I was trying to read it, but it didn't matter. But hey, I wanted to bring this information out real quick, just to link up what y'all going in with. This is from the book of Josephus. Give me a second. This is the Antiquities of Josephus. book 1, chapter 5. Oh, you can share the screen real quick, bro. I can read it off of there real quick. Check this out. It says, it says right here, after the manner of the posterity of Noah sent out colonies to inhabit the whole earth. It says, after this, they were dispersed abroad on account of language, and we know the Tower of Babel, and went out by colonies everywhere. Each colony took possession of that land which they light upon, and unto which the Most High led them, so that the whole continent was filled with them, both the inland and the maritime countries. There were some also who passed over the sea in ships and inhabited the islands, and some of those nations do still retain the denominations which were given them by their first founders, but some have lost them also. Some have only admitted certain changes in them, and they might be more intelligible to the inhabitants. And they were the Greeks who became the authors of such mutations. For when in after ages they grew potent, which is powerful, they claimed to themselves the glory of antiquity, giving names to the nations that sound well in Greek, that they might be better understood among themselves, and setting agreeable forms of government over them, as if they were the people who derived from themselves. So when Esau back then, he was called the Greeks, right? When they got into one of these different people, these different nations' land, right? They took on the good things of that nation, and then they applied that to themselves as if that was great example.
They never taught them themselves.
Yeah, great examples like the Romans, right? Like we're reading about the Japhites right now. When you read the book of Maccabees, Japhet was still in the land back then, and you had said something that made sense. You said that you had read it. You said that whenever something broke out amongst they people, they didn't always align together. They ain't always click up, right? And that's how it was back then. And they still like that to this day. You know, you ain't gonna get Polynesians, or Tongians and Samoans and Melanesians and Micronesians, them type of people all get together on one accord. They're not gonna do that, right? Yep. Same thing we do now. But the point of the matter is that these nations, when Esau came in, this is what he would do. Like he would take your history. Like I was going back into Rome. They did the same thing. That's the reason why, like, their uniforms was like basically muscled out fucking chest plates, because that's how Japhet used to naturally look. Japhet was naturally fit like that, right? And when they even here's if you look at a Minoan helmet, right? These are the helmets that Minoans used to wear before Esau got there. And he took that and he applied that to himself when it became Roman. Even in Polynesia, when they got here, and they were fighting with each other, these are the kind of helmets that they had. You see this? But they had to make it out of things that were available. So like this right here, these are made out of bird feathers. These helmets made out of bird feathers. Let's go back to when they were in the homeland and they had the original headdresses. Right? There's another one. There was another one too. This is a helmet too. It's like a mask, a warrior mask. It goes right back to this. It goes right back to all of this. Right? See? Same stuff. And Esau took it unto himself. He put this shit unto himself. Right? And the Noah's early making helmets, man. So these it's no different than the one we just showed you, showing that these are the same people. I just wanted to bring that out, brother.
No, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful exhortation to know that.
I thought I was showing y'all a helmet, Salaki. Give me a quick
No,
second.
you
good. You good.
I was showing y'all a helmet. What was that? What was that? I had the book of Josephus. Give me a quick second.
Josephus, yeah.
All right, give me a quick second, brothers. I thought I was showing these helmets. Hold on. I'm gonna show the helmet real quick, brother. Yeah. Shit, man. All right. Just again, brothers can brothers see the screen?
No, yet.
It didn't come up yet.
Oh, hold on, give me a second, bro. Screen. Hold time. Go ahead. So now I just want to show you all examples. This is going back to the Minoan helmets. These are the people that lived in that area, and these were their original helmets. Right, you got like this right here. Remember, the Romans took this, and they put this on themselves. Well, the Romans, Edomites, when they became the Romans, they took this and they put it on themselves. Helmets like this, right? And this is when the Japhite was living in the land. They had access to metallurgy. So they just this. Right, this is no different than a Roman helmet. You can look it up. Look up a Roman helmet. Roman helmet. Look, it's the same.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Same shit.
Yeah, same thing.
Esau he didn't come up with this. Remember, I told you they had the Esau. They had the chest plates. This is how the Minoans used to be with their shirt off, but they would have a helmet on, right, to protect their head. And then even this one, this is supposed to be a Roman helmet. Oh man, come on, Esau. This is supposed to be a Roman helmet, and this goes back to the Polynesians when they got over here to the Hawaiian Islands. Look, the same thing. They had to make it out of the things that they could get, which was like bird feathers, shit like that, wood. You know what I'm saying? Wood. Yep. And they had the look at this. It's a good example right here. And that was built for the elite, but he made that for the top. Those helmets were made for the ones with the feathers on it. They were made for the ones that was in leadership.
Right.
Bringing it out, like showing you how Esau takes stuff from people nations. This is the ancient Minoan helmets right here. This is when they were in the land. Ancient Greek bronze museum replicas of Cretan Minoan helmets. And this is Japhite. This is Japh. So they take things to themselves, man. Like Paul Mooney said, they take stuff, man. You know, don't have too much fun. They'll take you. You know, they take stuff. They like to take stuff. But you got it, brother. I just wanted to bring that out. I hope it makes sense. I don't want to make it.
It does. That's good. That's beautiful, man. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, they a bunch of devils, man.
Yeah, Esau, man. Oh, you can go back to your page though, big bro.
I was gonna precept which we caught it before we started lesson, but since you mentioned that, like it gonna come out. Isaiah 25:7 it says, and he will destroy in his mountain the first of the covering cast of all people, and the veil that is spread of all nations.
Yep, and that's the different nationalities that people are going by today. Very few go back to the biblical nationality. Even Ethiopians, right? The term Ethiop is a Greek word for burnt face, Ethiop, right? And then now you got these people running around calling themselves Ethiopians. Now they may refer to Kush every so often, but it's not a national thing like this. The people of Kush. Look at Persia. Persia used to be Persia. Now they call Iran now. Mm-hmm. Iranians, right? So this hiding their national identity. Even when you go to East India, they know that they're Elamites over there, but they don't refer to themselves as Elamites. They call themselves Indians, right?
Yes. Even Ishmael, right? Ishmael, they know the Ishmaelites, right?
Yeah, Ishmael too. Ishmael know they Ishmaelites, but they don't call themselves Arabs or Arabians, which is mixed people, Arab people, right? And Arab can mean you can come from any of the 6 sons of Keturah or Ishmael's kids, So it's like, who are you? So there's a great covering cast, but the biggest covering cast over the greatest nation is over Israel. You so-called Latinos, Native Americans. And how are we destroying the face of the covering cast? By way of the truth, the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because you nations, you're gonna go back to your biblical identities when Yahushua comes back. Right? You're gonna get just like they had a seasoning process where they beat the Hebrew out of us when we came over to the Americas. Well, we're gonna beat the Chinese out of you, the mold, the population, all of that shit. Whatever you call yourself today is not what you're gonna call yourself tomorrow. That was it. Yeah,
that's right. That's good. That's right. You want to play the video now, or
come. So
any more precepts you want to bring up before you play the video?
Nah, we good
All right.
because yeah, the video itself is going to be self-explanatory, but this actor Boris, which some of you brothers may have seen him in movies in times past, especially in the early 2000s. But basically, he's going to give you the rundown to the characteristics of the Edomites today, without actually giving a name of the ethnicity of people that's doing this on the planet Earth today. Now, although he will mention certain countries, and that's why we talked about the 7 heads, which represents the 7 governments that Esau Edom ruled out over, started with the Greeks. All right. Then there you have the Romans, Germania Major, Germania Minor, the French, the Spaniards, and then the last, the 7th, Great Britain. Right.
Yeah. And then
So,
yeah,
go ahead.
now I'm gonna say the one that came out of the 7th is America.
It's America. Come.
It's the 8th.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's check this out.
Colonialism is not over, right?
Word.
It's not over. This is still going on to this day. And the absurdity is, I'll give you an analogy. You have a community of houses, and there's one neighbor who decides that he deserves more than the other people. So he starts going over to other people's houses and stealing their food and going into the pantry while they're at work and stealing stuff and enriching himself, right? And after a while, he gets more emboldened. He starts unhooking their plumbing and their electricity and their water and takes it over to his house. And when somebody objects, he throws a brick to their window and says it was a neighbor. And he starts pitting them against each other.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And they start fighting. And there's violence. And he starts giving guns to one so they can kill the other, and giving guns to them to kill the other. And he starts, creating all this
chaos,
craziness
yeah.
and chaos and violence. And it goes on for years and years and years. So after a while, now his house is the biggest house in the neighborhood. And he's got a compound because he's sort of gotten some other houses, paid cents on a dollar because the neighborhood is in uproar, the community is dilapidated and destroyed, so people have nothing to eat anymore. And then all of a sudden, people start coming over to his house, right? Because he's the only one on the block who's got food, who's got shelter, who's got security, so they jump over fences and sleep in his backyard, and they work for scraps and work in his kitchen, and he calls them violent intruders, scum of the earth. He calls the police on them. The
Esau.
police removes them back to their houses. But they don't exist anymore, right? Because they're dilapidated and destroyed. The whole community is destroyed. There's violence everywhere. Nothing works anymore.
Yeah.
So the absurdity is not that people come knocking. The absurdity is that America, France, England, they're shocked. They're appalled that all these people are fleeing rubble to get to abundance. Especially when the abundance is built on the destruction, the death.
So like, you want to say something?
Yeah, so it's like it's the same. It's well, he said it. Esau set up the conditions for third world. You would have no third world nations if Esau didn't intervene in them. All those people had an opportunity to be first world nations, especially with their resources, their economic strength. But Esau runs into these nations and cripple them, cripple their governments. He corrupts their governments. He cripples their economic system by giving them these super big loans they cannot pay back, and it always be in the red to the IMF and the World Bank. Elder Kwame calls it the World Bank. Was it international? Was it World International Bank of Slavery? Right? They call it the International Bank of Settlements, but he calls it the International Bank of Slavery because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
These nations in complete captivity under you. And then these people, they want abundance and they want freedom and they want access to the wealth. Where they going to flee to where the wealth is? The EU, right? Because these French-speaking North Africans and West Africans, they're not fleeing to America directly. They're going to countries in which they are being ruled over by, right? So they're going to France because according to France, you have some type of French citizenship if you come over here. And why are they going to France? Because France has a better way of life where these people can make something of themselves. This is the reason why we have refugee camps. You got nations putting these refugee camps because why? Esau set up war in their lands. That's why the whole of Africa pretty much is a war-torn continent. but it's a war-torn continent because Esau sets the environment up. And like he said, then they get mad when you want to come to the country where the abundance is at. Well, wait a minute, you made our country a third world. If Jake in South America, they would stay there if their land wasn't as corrupt. I mean, migration happens, but it wouldn't happen on the scale that it's happened. And then they don't tell you either that Esau is behind the migration because he has a nefarious purpose behind the migration. So he opens up during the time of Biden. He opened up the borders. He just opened it up, and then he just put all Jakes and people on buses, and then let them out in San Diego, and they just walking around, nowhere to go. Just on fucking indefinite probation, right? And then when Trump gets in, now we have an immigration issue that we need to tackle, right? The point of the matter is, you would not have this problem if you weren't hoarding the resources unto yourselves, impoverishing other nations through your wickedness and through your economics, through your democracy, because everybody has to have a democracy according to Esau. Okay, so if you don't have a democracy, then you're like behind the times. But this democracy, it really destroys nations, right? Where you might have had a leader, a good leader, you kill him, right? A great example is I don't know if brothers are aware of there's a Burkina Faso, right? So in the 70s, they had a great leader. I ain't saying dude was perfect, but he was a leader of the people. Like he grew up, he was a working class man, and then he got into the military, and I forget his name, but he got into the military, and he instead of having his military as a sit-in army, what he did was he trained them in agriculture. He trained them in agriculture so they can build up Burkina Faso. He the one that changed that name to Burkina Faso. I forget his name, but anyway, long story short, he was a better leader. But Esau, through the French government, corrupted his best friend and got him killed. And his best friend killed him. His best friend killed him and his head men at a meeting. Well, it was a big shootout. It was a bunch of people, but his best friend was behind it, which he eventually became the prime minister or the president of Burkina Faso. So he was deposed and put to death. But the
is Thomas Sankara?
Yeah, Thomas Sankara, bro. That's the guy, man. It's a great when you get time on your own, you can look it up on YouTube and just short videos about this man. And he was an awesome leader. I ain't saying he was perfect, but he was extremely good. He was about his people, and he pushed out French influence in his country, got him the fuck up out of there. And then so the French government, he got mad. He was like, nah, we got to do something about it. So they isolated.
Yeah.
He paid all their debt back. He paid all the debt that they had back, and they didn't like that. And so they kept the country in a war-torn state until they killed them. Right. So now Burkina Faso is a third world country in a third world continent, all because Esau Edom is in there and influence. His influences doesn't help people. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, can you get 2nd Esdras chapter 14, verse 5?
Okay.
I believe verse 14, verse 5, and then it might be 6. It says, or it might be 7 or 8, where it says, if he do any good, he do it for unwilling. But get 5 first. Get wisdom with that's a wisdom cell. Sirach chapter 14, verse 5. Real quick.
Verse 5.
Elder Yashima, you can read it, bro. Go ahead and read it, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, you can break it down, bro. You got it.
All right. This is where am I? Right here. 2nd Esdras. Sirach chapter 14, verse 5. It says, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
Yeah.
That he shall not take pleasure in his goods."
And that's the first thing. A man that's evil to himself, he can't do no good. If Esau killed and impoverished his own people, what you think he gonna do to you? So read verse 3.
Yep, verse 3. "Riches are not comely for a niggard, and
that's Esau for you.
What should an envious man do with money?" Ooh.
Right. He's Esau niggard. The word niggard goes back into a stingy, evil person. And that's what Esau is, right? He's a true niggard. And it shows you that the wealth is not commonly on this dude, right? It says, verse 4.
He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others that shall spend his goods riotously.
And that's what's going to happen in the kingdom when his wealth is taken from him, right? It's going to be nothing to us, right?
Yep.
To spend it and do what we want with it in righteousness, but it's nothing to us, right? Because he gathered by defrauding his own soul, because he defrauded other nations, right?
Yep.
He put that onto himself. Keep reading.
It says, and he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? And he shall not take pleasure in his goods.
Verse 7.
It says, verse 7, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness.
So Esau, when he does good, it's not on purpose, it's an accident. Because
Right.
in reality, what he's trying to do, or if he does do good, it's a scheme. Because in the end, his wickedness is going to show. So when he went into these different nations, calling himself the policeman of the world, calling himself the liberator of nations, calling himself the purveyor of democracy and peace, when he said that, he was lying. Because in the end, what did he want? He wanted to heap up the wealth and the resources of those different nations. So what he do? He'll send an economic hitman. If the economic hitman don't work, he's gonna send the jackals. If the jackals don't work, he's gonna send the army. Right? That's what he does. And that's why you have third world countries. See, in our kingdom, Lord, when we part of the elect, in our kingdom, we're not gonna have no third world countries. You nations gonna have your natural resources and your wealth to yourselves. You're just gonna have to pay that tribute. That's all you're gonna pay, right? And then the loans that we give you to build your place up, you're gonna have to pay that back. But it ain't gonna be loans that cripple your nation to the point where you can't even pay it back. Like no, right? There's not gonna be none of that. If a nation outside of Israel, is in a third world state, it's because of one or two things. You fucked up, so you're getting judged, or you got a bad leader. Either way, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna get it done. There ain't gonna be no war. That's another thing too. Esau brings war. I think the title of this lesson is "The Red Horse: Peace Taken from the Earth," because he brings war. He said that the scripture says that he was going to take peace from the earth, and that people should kill one another.
That's right.
Can I get that for you, Akio?
Yeah, you got it, brother.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, and verse 4. And there went another host, and host represents power. That was red, and this host, being red. This is talking about Esau when he came, when he eventually came in power. And it says, and power was given to him that sat there to take peace. Meaning when it says that sat there, it means this devil was in power, like he was, in a rulership.
Yeah.
It says, and power was given to him that sat there to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. And
that's how Esau lives. He lives by the sword. He lives through deception, but he rules by that sword.
Right.
That's how he stays in power, through violence. Right? He's not set up to be diplomatic. He don't know what diplomacy is. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what that shit is. If he did, it would be a different place, man. You know what I'm saying? And even when he makes with people, there's when he makes agreement with people, there's always an ulterior motive behind it. You know, like the people you gotta take on a Western identity and ideology. It's homosexuality, lesbianism, it's way of government. Right? It's libertarianism, right? It's all of that shit. The two-party program.
Right. I got another one for you, Akim, if you don't mind, Bakushan.
Yep.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. Yeah, also because he transgressed by one, and that's going into what the elder was mentioning, like the whole gays, basically he's East's movements, East's philosophy, East's culture, okay, world culture, what culture does East have? But anyway, whatever he has, he's gonna push that shit on you with a gun on your head.
Yep.
Okay. It says, because he transgressed by one, he is a proud man, neither keep it from home. Going into the video that we're playing right here, this individual here is gone into it. Okay, that how Esau moves and the things he does. This devil, hey, he's been worldwide. Okay, taken over by force. Who come in again? Who come in smiling? I was watching this movie, and the brother mentioned it's called The Convict, going into about the Hawaii, no, the Japhetic people over there in New Zealand. When Esau came in, he came in smiling.
Yep.
He came in smiling. Big smile on his face, acting stupid, but in his mind, he knew what the fuck he wanted, right?
Yep.
He said, neither keepeth at home, who in Elijah his desire as hell, and ease as death. Wherever this devil goes, he brings nothing but death, and cannot be satisfied. Okay, this man, like the earth is given unto him right now. Okay, he's ruling the earth right now. He got power to do whatever he wants to. But guess what? Everything that he has got to himself is not enough. He wants more. This devil want. That's what the scripture says. If the time won't cut short, no flesh will be set. Because this devil right now, he's digging up the earth. He's digging up the earth as we're speaking right now, doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, tapping into people food. All right, food, water. Gone into those crazy ass. With scientists just doing crazy ass fucking shit that that really, if we had our eyes to see it, we'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? To destroy what? To destroy people, even to destroy himself.
Yeah, the same planet he lives on. They don't and then he's talking about going to another planet to colonize that planet and do what? But you ain't going anyway. Like, when you do go, you're going in chains, because those planets belong to brothers. That's a brother's prince.
Yeah, that's why he's known as the harbinger of death. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. He saw as the harbinger of death, man, because everything he touches, you know what I'm saying, everything he comes in close proximity, whatever the case may be, shit always goes left, complete left.
You had said it when he come in, he was smiling. The words of his mouth smoother than butter, but in his heart,
that's scripture. That's scripture right there. Yeah.
That's
prophecy.
It says the devil. And it's crazy. I want to say it's crazy because they want you to have a heart to this man. Fuck out of here, bro. They say, get out of here, bro.
But it says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and that's what these devils been doing, and heapeth unto him all people, and now he's at the stage where now he's like, you know what? For us to have full control of all human beings, we need to create a device that we can implant into you and have control over all people, man.
Yeah,
that's fucking selfish, man.
Yeah, he wants to forward his pseudo blessing, right?
Yeah.
Technology to create a fake blessing. He wants the world in his hands. He wants control over all the people, and what he's doing is he's using his banking system to do it, because everybody needs funds to make it. They talking about we need to help bank the unbanked, because there's a ton of people on the planet that don't got bank accounts, right? And through those bank accounts, they could keep watch over you, and they can also keep you in slavery, right? Dangling that carrot in front of your face will cut your chip off. Like, don't act too crazy. We'll kill you, right? Once your chip's cut off, it's off. There's no it's like, why even take it? It's like, nigga, no. You know what I mean? I with a chip in my hand. Why I gotta die with one in my hand? Absolutely not. And I always say, if a nigga gotta murder me to take his chip, I definitely don't want it. He threatens to kill me because I don't want it. Oh, nigga, you gotta go.
Wrong. Yeah. As the scripture says that in Revelation 13, he that worship not the beast shall be killed. All right. And when you go into that word killed, it can be in a literal sense, or it can be to deprive you of prosperity. So in this case, like the elder was saying, if you don't take it, they really got to do nothing to you. They'll just say, well, hey, you're going to be outskirts from society. In fact, it was Yuval Harari who Klaus Schwab's little fucking Dominion, who went on to the World Economic Forum Committee when he cut that speech, and he said, basically, if you don't get in line with the New World Order, what we're trying to establish, okay, you're going to be cut off from society. He goes, the whole pandemic was set up to usher in what we call surveillance under the skin.
Yeah.
He said, if you don't take the surveillance under the skin, you're not gonna, you pretty much asked out. That's it. You asked out.
Yeah.
And we've been telling you, Jake, for a long ass time now, starting with the apostles, the bishops, and elders on down, that this was coming. And guess what? It's right here. It ain't knocking at the door. The shit is already in.
Yeah, it's 2000. It's 2022. It's 2026. If you don't know who the devil is by now, something's wrong with you, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that song? If you don't know by now, you'll never know. My nigga, Teddy P. If
Yep.
you know, well, that's if you don't love me by now, you will never ever know me. Well, then, nigga, you ain't gonna never know.
Yep.
Yeah, he's showing you. You got it, buddy.
All right, come on. You got something else, Shashar?
Yeah, I had another preset right here real quick.
Come on.
This is the book of Slakia. Just bear with me. I got it right here. Where this should go. Okay, this is the book of Proverbs 22 and verse 7. It says it says the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender.
Mhm.
And that's how it's ruling right now. You know, going back to into the video, you know, the Boris was going into it, man. Like you always, you know, at the end of the day, Israel has set up a system to where, like, you know, you gotta go to him basically if you want to survive, if you want to live, if you want a better life. He set up a system that you gotta go to him.
Yeah, he wants to put everybody under that curse that we're under, which is we got to go to our enemy for the one of all things, nakedness and hunger and thirst.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what he wants. He wants to. It's all said. They say it in the. It was said in the Illuminated Rothschild. I don't know if brothers ever seen that web plan of the Illuminated Rothschild. He said that what they're trying to do is get back the birthright.
Yep.
The bishop elders been telling us this day one, and now you got an outside source lining up to what they said. It's like, hey, they're trying to get the birthright back, but the birthright was never there. And then you see why this man ain't fit to rule over us in righteousness, because he ain't righteous. That's one. Two, he got power in the earth now. And look what he's doing. So you trying to tell me if the Lord gave this dude immortality, spiritual powers, indefinite rulership, we not. We be through, bro. Everybody. It'd be no planet, man.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna play the video more.
The exploitation, the theft of all these other houses, all these other people.
That's a great analogy.
Right? So that's where we at.
Yeah.
And that's not over. That's still going on. France is still taking $500 billion a year out of Africa right now. Out of their 14 ex-colonies, because they made them sign the pact of the continuation of colonization back in the late 50s. Yeah. And they had no choice but to sign.
And what does that look like? Because that means, so whenever these 14 countries that are, you know, part of that, like when they have goods that they want to export, they can't, because
yes, they can, but they have to export them to France.
They have to export them to France.
And then have to buy back. They have to buy back the products. They export the natural resources, the raw materials, and then they have to buy back the products from France.
With
their money.
I'm about to say, France money. With France money.
With France money. That's crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
crazy. And the franc ain't worth shit. It's a fiat currency. It's worth nothing. Fucking devil.
Imagine that. Imagine you send over your raw materials and resources to a country only for them to sell you your shit back, the final product, but you got to buy it in there, bro. Nah.
And on top of that, you buying it at a premium. So now you don't even get a deal on it. And then now you got all these jakes from these French colonies in France, and they talking about, oh, France has changed. It's not the same anymore. It's overrun by blacks. That's what they say. Nigga, if you'd have left these nations alone, which I already know why. And I speak as a man when I say this. The reason why Africa is the way it is, because they don't want Jake to return to a dark land, right? Because first of all, we ain't from that land. But they definitely don't want Jake. They don't want Jake to go over there, and it turned into like what's that nigga Johanna said? We'll build the greatest empire known to man. We call it, what do you call it? We'll call it Black America. Some crazy shit. Where he don't want Jake to have nowhere to run to. Like where these other nations, they can run, they can go home. China, Chinese people, they can go back to China, right?
Yep.
If you Arab, you can go back to Arab land. You know what I'm saying? If you Japhet, you can go back to Japhet land and do your thing. But we can't do that. That's because that's on purpose, right? That's on purpose. The vast majority of the 14 colonies in France are on the western side of Africa. That's where they focus from, right? The vast majority, I think, like pretty much all of them are, right? And then they're like one of the few original colonist nations or countries that still hold extreme sway over there. Because you ever heard of the Race for Africa? That nigga Cecil Rhodes? We got this nigga standing up over Africa like a big giant with his hands out and his arms, his legs open like this. He like this.
Is that in Ghana?
It's on all Africa. It's called the Race of Africa. Let me show you.
Oh,
I'll show you to you right now. Give me a second. The Race for Africa. It happened in the Race for Africa happened in Race for Africa. The Africans. The Race for Africa, yeah. They call it the Scramble for Africa, right? The Scramble or the Race for Africa. It says lock it. It says the Scramble for Africa. The Scramble for Africa was the invasion or conquest of colonization of most of Africa by 7 Western European powers, driven by the Second Industrial Revolution.
Hey, Elder, you hear I said seven. The 7 nations are from Europe.
Yeah, it said. I think did I say 7? Was it 7? Okay, let me read it again.
Yep. Maybe I overheard it.
No, you had it.
It's there. About 7 Western European powers.
Yep.
Ooh.
The Scramble for Africa was the invasion and conquest by colonialization of most of Africa by 7 Western European powers.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, there you go.
Driven by the Second Industrial Revolution during the 19th century and the early 20th century. The era of the new imperialism, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Portugal, and Spain, and the United Kingdom were the powers. And those are
the 7. That's the 7 heads, right?
Well, it's part of them. You got Germany, France, Belgium.
Apart from Belgium, right?
No. I think because you had Germany Major, Germany Minor, and I think those nations fell in between there, Germany and Belgium, and then France, and then Italy was you put down Portugal and Spain.
Part of Spain, right? Yeah.
Part of Spain, right? And it says in the United Kingdom, which we know is Great Britain, were contending, were the contending powers. In the 1870s, 10% of the continent was formerly under European control. By 1914, this figure had risen to almost 90%. The only states retaining sovereignty were Liberia, Ethiopia, Egba,
Somali, okay, and
Mbunda, the Dervish state, Darfur Sultanate, and the Ovambo kingdoms. Right, and those Hamites, those ain't shit. Really scary. Most of which were later conquered. And so I wanted to show this. Cecil, there's a picture of Cecil Rhodes. This is the guy that they created the Rhodes Scholarship for. Cecil Rhodes, this devil right here, and this is the image that I was talking about. The Race for Africa. You see, so Cecil Rhodes, he was the beginning of that shit. And then they got he's standing in a victorious stance over the whole of Africa, the continent of Africa. Right? This devil. And this is where you get there used to be a place called Rhodesia. I don't know, brothers, but yeah, Rhodesia. It was named after this devil. And then he took mainly a bunch of East Africa. But going back to this right here, the Scramble for Africa, it says in 1884, the Berlin Conference regulated European colonization and trade in Africa, and is seen as the emblematic of the scramble. In the last quarter of the 19th century, there were considerable political rivalries between European empires, which provide the impetus for the colonization. The later years of the 19th century, saw the transition from informal imperialism military influence, and economic dominance to direct rule. It says, with the decline of the European colonial empires, in the wake of the most African colonies gained independence during a Cold War and decided to keep their colony borders in the organization of an African unity. Conference in 1964, due to the fears of civil wars and regional instability, placing emphasis on Pan-Africanism, and they destroyed that too. So right here, this is France colonies right here. They got Madagascar, they got all of this area right here. They had all of this area right here. France is the light blue, and this is what they had. And I think they still got most of them, because that's why, like, in certain parts of Africa, they speak French. I know Angola. I think Angola they speak Portuguese. But Portugal had a hand in that. And then, like I said,
even when I'm from, like, we speak French over there. That was the first language, of the those fucking Western European that was left in our country.
Yeah, and that's the language of our captors. Showing you that Jake is in captivity wherever we at. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all know about what Leopold did to Jake. These are Israelites. Cut their hands off, right? Because people cut their hands off and shit, cut their feet off, their noses, killed them, right? Destroyed them. These are Israelites, man. He gonna pay for this shit. So again, here it is. You got Edomites sitting in a room somewhere, and they said, you know what? We're gonna take what we want, right? This way look like we're gonna create new borders, we're gonna create new lands, and then we're gonna do what we want. And this is what they did. Now Africa looks like this: Belgium, British, French right here. They own all of this. Algeria, Morocco, Yep. And there's no reason. But again, this is also this place is rich in resources, but it's also a place that they don't want Jake to run to. They don't want Jake to go over here and try to build something independently of Esau. Just they got the earth. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to share that.
No, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, no, and it's good to see it too, because Jake is sometimes got Jakes out there that are visual learners, so they can see it.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, and everything that the actor Boris is going into, like we said again, basically that's Esau in a nutshell. Okay. It's in the power of their hand to do so, because they were, like the elder said, number one, they were blessed with the sword.
Yep. Okay.
And number two, the power was put in their hands. Job 9:24, the earth was given into their hands. All right.
And real quick, this is an illustration of what Boris was talking about. This is in Palestine, and this is. That's the devil. If I don't do it, somebody else gonna do it.
Damn.
You see how he said? That's exactly what he said. He's like, and look how weak this dude is. This the nigga that be in his house jacking off the little kids' pictures, doing crazy work on a computer. This the nigga that's filthy ass nigga, and he goes. That first of all, neither one of them belong in our land. That's the first thing. But the point of the matter is, even in the land of uprightness, he can't do righteousness, bro.
Yep.
How you gonna step on my property? If I don't do it, somebody else will. Don't blame it on me. I didn't do this. You see, he's stealing your shit and telling you that he didn't do it. This nigga's crazy. What you got?
Can I get a quick step about the show?
You got it.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, in verse 6. I'm gonna read this in the King James version, and also in the AMP. It says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and taunt? It's like in a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his." And that's going into
right.
What he said. You want to speak on that?
Yeah, woe unto him that increaseth that is not his. Again, you've gone across the four winds, and you've taken over the inheritance of the other lands of the nations. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is the reason why, everything that you signed when the nations became a league into you, they became federate. That's why it tells you in Jeremiah, I think it's the 51st chapter, that the nations are now mad. because they drunk off the philosophies and everything that you gave them. So now you being despised, man. You know what I'm saying? You being despised, just like what happened when during the time of COVID, when Prince William them, when they went to Haiti and they weren't welcome. I think it was down when they went to Haiti and they weren't welcome. And what did the Haitians tell them? Like, nah, man, you got something that belonged to us, bro. Your granny, you know what I'm saying? All the shit that she done stole from our people and shit. Y'all not welcome in this country, man. Straight up.
Yep.
They ain't forget about that. Jank ain't forget about that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So now y'all got to pay. Matter of fact, we get what's that? Isaiah 14:21, because this is what's coming.
Okay, let him finish this real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it says, what to him that increased with that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick socket with thick clay, which is going into the the depth, you know, that Esau socket.
It's called Ibakya in the Hebrew. Ibakya in the Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Going into a thick clay, and then event which is that depth, and then on top of that, literally, you know, it's like really what Esau stole from these countries, starting with Jake, what you took away from them. That's the depth that you got on top of your fucking head. You know, the resources he took, that's you gotta give that back, man. You haven't paid for that, man. We should be charging this devil fucking interest like he does to our nations.
Well, the Most High charged him interest. That's why he said he gonna get double. Yeah, how much I charge him interest big time?
Yeah,
it's like you
no, you got it.
I'm gonna say he got a check that his ass can't cash. That his ass can't. Don't write a check your ass can't cash. He can't cash this check, brothers.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why it tells you Isaiah, what's that? Isaiah 60. That's why it tells you the gates is going to stay open continuously, because we're going to bring all the Gentiles, all that shit that y'all been hiding, Esau. Okay, Ishmael, all, because we know y'all got some of that gold too over there in Abu Dhabi. Okay, Dubai, all them places. We know what's going on. Okay,
yeah,
all of that's just being stored up for the elect through Yahweh Shema Shai. So you just holding it for us right now. You just holding it. It's all good.
You can't destroy wealth. It gets transferred.
It transfers. That's right.
That's beautiful.
It says, because of unrighteous dealing, injuries, and rituals gotten by deceit, therefore the kingdom is translated from one people to the next. Was that 8 and 10 or 10 and 8? Roughly paraphrase. So here
10 and 8, 10 and 8, yeah.
Yeah, 10 and 8. So yeah, brother, it's you hiding it, like the brother said, you hiding it, but you gonna have to cough that up. Job said that.
That's right.
This was only Habakkuk Zaquan.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh
no, I was gonna read the you can read the next couple verses since you put it up on the screen, Bakusha.
Oh, okay. Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booty unto them?
Yeah, eventually, you know, it's like we're gonna speak on the elder, or
no, you got it, brother. You got it, brother.
Yeah, so eventually, what you're seeing right now is that these nations are starting with Jake. Why do I say start with Jake? It starts with the prophets that have raised up against this devil, exposing him out. Okay, telling him what's coming for him, right? It started with the prophets when they came on scene. Okay, we're telling Esau what's going on, you know, what's going to happen to him, and then these other nations as well. They're coming for you, all right? They're coming for you, Esau. You know, and what's going to happen is you're going to be like this, the end of it says that shall be Buddhist unto them. You're going to be taken into captivity, man.
Yeah, and the NLT says, suddenly your debtors will take action. They will turn and take all you have while you still trembling and helpless.
Yep.
It says, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you got it.
I was going to say, you can also link that to Job, the 20th chapter, where it talks about the laborers, the wicked, the workers, because you see the rise that's going on with the people, like the unions and the streets and stuff like that, because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired with the economy being the way that it is, inflation, right? They mortgages, the percentage of taxes has gone up, their interest rates have gone up, so they're not able to sustain the living that they were once accustomed to. You see what I'm saying? And they're catching all hell, which goes back to your points, Zaquan, when you brought that precept in Sirach. All right, he that is evil unto himself, to whom will he be good to?
Yeah.
And man, I gotta read this real quick, right? Sirach chapter 34, verse 22, it says, "He that taketh away his neighbor's living, slave him, and he that defraudeth the labor of his hire is a bloodshedder."
There you go. You see,
Yeah,
so it's all there, and you see how he's literally being exposed in these last days. This is how we know this is the end. Okay, this is how we know by us measuring the time diligently within itself. These are the tokens that have been brought before us.
Yeah.
right.
That's right. You got it, brother. Go back to that.
Do you want to read it? Are we gonna get something from the book of Maccabees?
No. I just had that precept up that you had.
Beautiful. We can read verse 8 and then move on to the next.
Okay, Habakkuk 2:8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Because of the violence of the land. This is why Yahweh said through the prophet Ezekiel in Ezekiel the 35th chapter, because thou has a perpetual hatred, all right, against Israel, and because thou didst not hated blood, therefore blood shall pursue thee, roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Because you went into the land and you took it by violence, according to Micah the 2nd chapter. So what does it tell us in the book of Numbers? That the land cannot be cleansed except the one who shedded the blood. Basically, in so many words, you got to die.
Yeah. That's the only way. Well, that's why America's going to be destroyed.
Yep.
The people that die on this side here in America, minus 2/3, they shed blood too. That's how the land is going to be utterly cleansed through fire, and nothing's going to reside here anymore because of that. But that's how they're going out. All because of what you spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. The remnant of what people? Israel.
That's right.
Of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Verse 9, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Right? And Yahweh Shemel Shah is that power. He said, I create evil, I create darkness, light. I, the Lord, do all these things. I, Yahweh Shemel Shah, do all these things. And you shouldn't hide from the Lord. You can hide from him. So it's going to be a woe to you. You coveted the evil covetousness. Yeah. Wherever you see something that, took it. You use violence, deceit. You use lies, theft, and robbery. Right? The only land that you Edomites supposed to be on that belongs to you is Petra. That's it. I did a video a minute ago. Here, then you out of bounds, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You out of bounds. You not here, and it ain't shit here. That's why you don't see Edomites living here. Right? They'll go visit, but they ain't gonna go back to this shit. Right? They made the world look like this. It literally looks like, and I can't believe that Esau got the audacity talking about the Nebateans built this shit. Ain't no Arabs ever built like this, bro. Never. You know what I'm saying? You Edomites, you built like this. You did all of this shit. And like again, if you're not here, look, this is your amphitheater. You look, amphitheater. Rome did that. Rome did the same thing. You got the houses and shit. You know what I'm saying? You had the first mall up in that motherfucker. Look at this shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All this shit is, it just got cut. It's like somebody took it out the rocks and just placed it, strategically around the earth.
Around the earth, yeah.
Everywhere it looks like Edom land. But if you're not here, then you out of bounds. And that's why you out of bounds. And then on top of that, when you get put into slavery, you're not even getting this back. This shit gonna be
hard.
Yeah, when we get to this land, it's gonna be beautiful, bro.
Yeah. Yep. Isn't that Amos chapter 1, like no Amos, Amos chapter 9 verse like 12
and Obadiah
right?
as well. Yeah,
Obadiah as well. Yep.
Yeah,
so Israel got nothing here, man. This devil got nothing here, man.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You only nation, not nothing.
What was the name that Cain was given to? It was man, there's a
vagabond and a
fugitive, vagabond and the fugitive, yeah.
Yeah. And that's Esau.
You on the
Fucking
run.
Jerry
Like you
Lewis,
said,
man.
you out of bounds. You on the run, nigga. You out of bounds.
You got it down. What you doing over here? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you doing over here? But it's cool. The earth was given into your hands, so this is what you do. But it's
Even
fine.
even Job, he said, man, I'll never allow these devils to be around my goddamn flocks. I mean, flocks, which is animals, dogs, that will never allow him to be there. So where do you belong, Esau? Let's be honest. Where the fuck do you belong, man?
If you y'all remember that movie Quest of Fire?
Oh man, that's my shit. And every time
That's the eldest movie right there.
Every time I think about it, Edom, I'm like, nigga, that was y'all a couple 500, maybe 1,000 years ago, nigga. That was y'all. Yeah, not even less than 1,000, bro. That was y'all, nigga. Trying to play us like this wasn't you, nigga. We know what it was.
Yep, that was the wild man right there.
He gonna get it.
This nigga right here.
The true Neanderthal.
Nigga, and then he do some homo shit up in there. He just took the pussy, man. Old girl was washing her ass. He took the pussy, and then they did some homo shit when they was in the caves. Look at these niggas. Look at Esau, man. Perfect. Cro-Magnon, man. With a Hamite. This nigga had some Hamite pussy. Bugged out.
Albino.
Straight up fucking beast. And then see, like movies like this don't do that well because it tells the truth.
It tells the truth. Yeah.
The truth of you Edomites, man. Y'all was busting for fire, man.
That's right.
I'm talking about some they use these. It's always the end dub always want to get with Esau, man. How could you lay with this nigga, man? Well, she not. This is Wei Dong Chung, that nigga Tommy Chung's daughter. Well, I think he's a Jake too, but this is homeboy that played in the Matrix. This is sister, the nigga that played Tank, not Tank Dozer. No, Tank. The nigga that played Tank. That's his sister in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is what these niggas was doing, bro. This is a great movie, man. This is to be like, if we had like required movies to watch, this would be one of them, man.
Yeah,
and then
Quest of Fire. Yep.
The second one would be for me White Man's Burden. Y'all brothers ever saw that movie?
John Travolta. Hell yeah.
Yeah, John Travolta.
Watch that.
Watch, brother, because it show you what Esau looked like in the ghetto, right? It's basically flip everything on the right side, Jake. And in the end of the movie, I like that the end of the movie, it wasn't like Esau came into power. He was still in the projects. Rambling. Fucked up. But that's where they belong. But they say that we belong there. But no, in reality, this is where you belong. Right back to this. And you going back to this. You going back to this. You see, they shaved the beard off and shit. He looked like Esau, man. If Esau was this nigga look like Esau, bro.
He look like the father.
Esau,
he's red. Look at him. He's red.
Yeah, red all over. Hairy. Red and hairy. Like, and he's still like outside, bro. You got it, brother.
You want to keep reading on Habakkuk?
Go on, brother. Verse 10. Habakkuk 2 and 10. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people and has sinned against thy soul.
And in the NLT, it says, right, but says by the murder, it's like by the murders you committed, you have shamed your name for what is that?
You have forfeited your lives, man. You basically when you forfeit, you give it up. So because of all the people that you killed, all the murders that you committed, you have shame and your name. So you have shamed your name. So your name can never be clean, man. And you forfeited your lives, man. Right.
That also ties into Hebrews in 12 when it talks about he sold his birthright for one morsel of meal. So it was over with from the beginning, man. You forfeited your life, man. You gave over your birthright. Well, not gave, it was set up through the spirit, but you get what I'm saying.
But that's part of the controversy. He can't get that. He can't get that through his greasy head, nigga. It was already written. You can't rewrite the script, nigga. When you playing it, you acting in it, nigga. You gotta keep doing it.
You gotta keep going. You gotta go forward.
You have devised a shameful thing for your house, the whole house of Edom. But by cutting off and putting an end to many people's, so you are sinning against your own life and forfeiting it. So your life is given up.
You know what's funny? He ain't learned nothing because remember what happened with Cain.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? He ain't learned nothing from Cain. That going back to your point, Aki, where you said he was a vagabond and a fugitive on the earth.
Yep. Then they get
But I gotta get this code precept for you. I can go for sure. This is Psalms chapter 109 and verse 11 to verse 13.
You got it.
It says what I said, yeah, verse 7 says, let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the stranger spoil his labor.
Mm-hmm.
Let there be none to extend mercy unto him.
Mercy. You shall have mercy to those that show no mercy, man.
There you go. Yeah. It says, neither let there be any to favor his father's children. God damn.
Yeah, because the scripture says, what's that in Jeremiah? No, that's in Job. That if you multiply children, they should be for the sword. That's why I quoted earlier, Isaiah 14. 21.
Verse 13 says, let his prosperity be cut off, and in the generation following, let their name be blotted out.
And what did he tell? Go ahead, Salaki.
You got it, brother. You got it.
I was gonna say, let it be blotted out, right? Going back to like the elder quoted earlier, what happened when they was waiting for us with Moses? All right. What's that? Exodus 17 chapter. That's why he said, put it as a memorial, as a way of remembrance, that I will have war with Amalek from generation to generation, and I should do away with the name from under heaven, roughly paraphrasing, which ties into Obadiah 1:18 as well. The whole house of Israel, the whole house of Edom is going to be destroyed.
Man slippers with his tongue, not with his heart. It's all right, brother.
That's right.
You know,
that's Satan. He's hating on me right now.
Fatigue kicking in.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say, the Israelites, we don't die, baby. We multiply, man.
We multiply. That's right.
Multiply. You got it, brother.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, you know, because to be blotted out, that lets you know. That's why Apostle Paul, he broke it down. He said, whoever resisted his will. You know what I'm saying? Who are you to sit up there and question the Most High Yahweh Basham Shah to say, you know, why'd you make me like this? Okay, why I got to play this role? Okay, why I can't have that? It's like, who the fuck are you? This is the Most High's movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You Christian, you rusty, dusty ass Christians, you can't even get that through your thick ass skull. Every time you want to sit up there and run your mouth talking about something, you know, God loves everybody. No, the fuck he doesn't. That's proven time and time again, all throughout the volume of the book.
Yep,
that's right.
But I was gonna say, Elder, do you want to go to the brother Matas Bafi's precept Isaiah 14?
God, I got you right here. Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
You should start from maybe verse 18, because Esau's really like Yahweh Hashem don't really fuck with Esau, man.
Yeah, Esau.
Yeah. Oh man.
This it's all good, man, right here. But
I don't know why fucking Genesis really came out and said that Esau can be saved. Like how, man?
Well, he has to say that because he took a bag, brother. He took the hat off. He took the hat off of Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Jesus Christ. He's the Montel Williams. Was it Montel? Yeah, Montel.
Yeah, Montel Williams.
Yeah. Anyway, it says I'll start at 11. Isaiah 14:11. All thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of the vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. That's decay. Your whole system is decayed. 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weakest the nation? Ooh. That's the elite.
Right. The illuminated ones.
Yeah, the illuminated ones. That word Lucifer just means you're a light bearer. In the light of the wicked is going to be put out. The light of the wicked shall be put out. And your rulership, you falling from rulership is fast. You know, when you think about it, like on our side, because we're in this flesh, it seems like a long time. But what's 500 years to eternity? Nothing. What's 600, 700? What's 1,000 years to eternity? Which he not getting 1,000 years. I'm just saying, is nothing, right? So your rulership was quick. It was fast, right? And your descent from rulership is even quicker, right? It says, which did is weaken the nations. How did you weaken the nations? Through your witchcraft and wizardry, destroying of the families, your lies, your idolatry, your whole playbook has weakened the nations, man. Look at them. Right? It says, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. And who are the stars of the Most High? We are the Israelites. You said you're going to be above us, but you weren't created to be above us. I will sit also upon a mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And this is the reason why through your satellites, through your space observation, you try to have omnipresence with your beat system, right? You think that you're the Most High. You like Barbara Mack Hubbard said, we the riders of the pale horse, and you get to decide who lives and who dies. Who the fuck said that, nigga? You ain't the most. You ain't his son. You ain't Yahweh Shai. You ain't Yahweh Shai. Fuck. But that's the pride of the devil. In their mind, they believe that they get to choose who lives and who dies, but that's not given to you.
Nope.
Even the people that you're allowed to kill through your sacrifices and through your murders, the Lord allowed that to happen. Yahweh allowed it to happen. Judgment. But yours in there. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit, which is the earth. Right? You're gonna be brought down to the earth, and that's where you're gonna live, is in the pits, in the sides of the motherfuckers, bro. Right? They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake his kingdoms? And that's what children gonna say when we walking by you, even us. You look at Jacob Rothschild in a hole, bitching and crying, broken to pieces. This dude, what kind of power did he have that he was able to do that? Well, he gave him dominion for a second. And he used that witchcraft and wizardry on the left hand side to exalt himself. But now that's taken away, right? You're gonna be stripped, just like we were stripped. We were stripped of everything. When you eat it, you're gonna be stripped of all of that. Right? It says verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities of that opened not the house of his prisoners. Right? And that's just you definitely. Yeah. Just the one who destroyed the world and made it into a wasteland. The world is a wasteland, bro. No matter where you go, I see the shit that I see in this world. I see most of it through the computer. It is bad, bro. It is bad. It shouldn't be that way. You got places in the world where women just walk around butt naked. You know what I mean? Throwing pussy, jilling off in the streets, in the middle of the streets, fucking in the middle of the streets. Don't care if there's kids out there. You got drugs. Look at kids. Well, y'all ain't from America, but this place called Pennington in Philadelphia, where I'm from, that shit is a wasteland. Well, you can thank Esau for that. Right? It says the one who destroyed the world and made it a wasteland is this the king who demolished the world's greatest cities and had no mercy on his prisoners? Who are the prisoners that he had no mercy on? Us, the Israelites.
The Israelites.
He had no mercy on us, man. So it says, verse 18, all the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, every one in his house. When these nations are brought back after the captivity, they're gonna be home. You're not right. You ain't got no home. It says the kings of the nations lie in stately glory, each in his own tomb, which is gonna be his land.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He gonna have these nationalities. But
to back you up, Salakia, it tells you in Sirach 17:17 that he set a ruler over the nations when he in the divisions, when he first separated the nations, he put a ruler over all the nations. So yeah, when they get done serving that first 1,000 years, they get the opportunity to go back to their lands. They're gonna have their own ruler over them.
Yeah, they ruler's gonna be accountable to us through your house. That's right. Okay.
You got it.
It says verse 19, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword that go down to the stones of the pit. as a carcass trodden under feet. So you're gonna be destroyed. Right? You ain't even gotta worry about ever. After 1,000 years of slavery, bro, you ain't gonna have to worry about. Don't worry about where they're going because you ain't going.
That's right.
Go back to the spirit world, bro. The whole nation will be them. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial. So you're not gonna be. You ain't gonna get to a place. You ain't got no place because thou has destroyed thy land and slain thy people. See, this evildoer shall never be renowned. Right? Will never be renowned. And the NLT it says, you will not be given a proper burial for your.
You're gonna be left on the street like a shit, like a down.
Yep.
It says you will not be given a proper burial, for you have destroyed your nation and slaughtered your people. The descendants of such an evil person will never again receive honor. And that's what you do. You Edomites now, they bitching and crying because the super elite, they ran off from the dead. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't share none of the loot with them. And so now they find it out, you know what I'm saying? And that goes back, you know, like Elder Malcolm brings it all the time. That's what that whole fiasco was about in 1681, the state of Virginia, known as the Beacons Rebellion. So all of your so-called white indentured servants, they just turn around, they use them as pawns and say, okay, you know what, we're just gonna give y'all, make it seem like, you know, y'all got the land and this, that, and the third. And what do they call? They call it white supremacy.
Yeah, and then a lot of them people were Israelites anyway, from Ireland, Scotland, those places. It was Jakes, and you gave them a false sense of superiority through white supremacy, and all that was set a divide because Jake, the poor, was united, and you ain't like that. So what happened? You set them over Jake because people want authority over other people. So as long as the poor is fighting the poor, the rich still going out the back door with the bag. You know, in the front door. You know, it says, verse 21: prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with cities. That was it. You want me to keep reading, brother?
I think that was good.
That the main point was in verse 21, but it's up to you if you want to keep going.
I will rise up against them that saith Yahweh Bashem Shai of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. So that's basically you got it, brother. You got it.
No, again, the whole house. There should be no more remaining of the house of Esau, Edom. All right, because I believe there's another precept to that in Malachi, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead, you continue. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I was going to say the son and the nephew, they carry the seed of the family line.
That's right.
When the men are destroyed, there ain't nothing else left. And you Edomite women, you going right along with them too. It don't matter if you hate your own kind, your ass going in that fire too, man. Hey, like my man Nino Brown said, cancel this bitch, man. Well, poor shit. Cancel that bitch, man. Get her up out of here. You find that brother?
Yeah, it's Malachi 4:1. I'll read it quickly. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And that branch goes into their posterity, their descendants. So when the elder was reading, you know, no nephew and all that stuff. No, see, that's what it means by the whole house of Israel, man. So it don't matter if you're a man or a woman. That's your ass.
Yeah, but this precept right here is about the
I mean, it's like
nuclear fire, the destruction. But ultimately, same thing gonna happen.
If you notice too, Elder, you notice.
I'm sure it wasn't. You didn't mistake that scripture with Job 18 and 19.
Get that one. That might be the one I was looking for.
Yeah, I think that might be the one, like Job 18 and 19.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Khan Salakia. Yeah. Yep. That's the one I was thinking. Yep.
Yeah.
Khan Salakia.
Wow, this is all good. I didn't even read this before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. Damn.
18:14. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. Ooh, how about you on Shai, the king of terrors, man? It shall dwell in his tabernacles, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off.
Right.
His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street.
Dang.
He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. Dang.
Mhm.
He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
That's the precept. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
And that ties right into what you was reading in Isaiah the 14th chapter. And that's why I said when you go back to Isaiah 14 and 21, and you can link that to, and it's also in the book of Job, that if they multiply children, it is for the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, hey. Get out of
And
here.
the Lord ain't playing, man. Y'all everybody think the Lord is. And, hey, Most High is not that one you should still on, bro. Nah.
Yep.
He ain't that one, bro. You don't play.
That's right.
That was it, brothers. On that.
Yeah, that was it, Saquon. Yep.
Do you want to finish the video? And my phone battery is about to go, be draining.
Con, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right, let's go back here. Take this back a little bit.
Like when they have goods that they want to export, they can't because
Yes, they can, but they have to export them to France.
they have to export them to France.
And then have to buy back. They have to buy back the products.
With
They export the natural resources, the raw materials, and then they have to buy back the products from France. That's
their
number one.
money.
With their money. Now, France also forces them to spend to give up to 85% of the GDP to France. Up to 85%, right? They force them to give them French companies the first right of refusal for every public or private contract, right?
So if they say, hey, we got
So-
some cocoa beans here, we want to sell it to America, they
No
can go,
economic sovereignty,
Wow.
no food sovereignty, no power sovereignty, right? Because they're forced, again, to export their resources to France and then buy back the products to survive. That's what's going on right now.
and this
and
is
then
why the countries
France-
are kicking them some.
Exactly, and that's why, and France is taking the 500 billion and they invested in the stock market in France to the tune of trillions of dollars. Africa's not getting that. France is keeping that. And if somebody speaks up, they turn off the faucet of the currency because France is printing the currency for those 14 countries. That's why now you have people like present, like
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso,
What's the other
Mali,
guy? Niger and Mali.
Niger.
Those guys.
Exactly.
I'm glad
Who are-
this happening. It's
who
real.
are getting together
Yes.
and they're kicking out France. Because what happened before, if a country said no, France would pour concrete in their sewage system, in their water supply. They would destroy the schools and the hospitals before they leave.
That's the
Right.
devil.
Then they would come in with mercenaries
Yeah.
and
That
they
would
would
sell
take
them- sell
they
your
would
own
take
people
people out. Lumumba,
Lumumba, Patrice
Thomas
Lumumba,
Sankara,
Patrice Lumumba.
right?
You already
Sometimes
said
I tell
they
you,
would. Yeah, you already said they come in with if that didn't work, they come in with the mercenaries and they'll start taking people out.
that's the jackals. That's the jackals. That's the jackals. I tell you, first the money. If it's not the money don't work, if the economic hitman fell, great man. Back in the day, there used to be this documentary called the Zeit. Was it the Zeitgeist? The
Zeitgeist.
Yeah, the Zeitgeist. Man, that shit was a classic. It had that one dude. I forget his name, but he was an economic hitman. He was talking about that shit in the Zeitgeist, man. Yeah, I remember having that shit on DVD. I was like, man, this shit is crazy. Now we know. Now we understand that it was bits of truth in there, but you know, this is how Esau works. And he's only the devil would do that. You think we're gonna have to do some shit like this, brother?
Hell no.
Crazy. If the scripture says if you don't want to come up and worship our power, Yahweh Shal Shai, 3 times a year, you just won't get no food, you won't get no rain, you'll get the fuck out. And then
It's gonna be a righteous punishment towards them.
There's a righteous punishment. They're gonna pour concrete in your fucking sewer system. Edomites got a lot to pay for it, bro.
For real.
And all this is a last ditch effort for Esau to hold on to his kingdom that's fallen from his hands. So
That's right. That's why the scripture says we should meditate thy terror.
yeah, we'll meditate.
You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be bad, though. Just like you said, man. But it's gonna be done in righteousness because like the apostles go in all the time. You have brothers like some brothers, they can't see it right now. That's why it tells you in Ezekiel, the 25th chapter, that the Most High, basically, he's going to use us, you know, for that ass whooping against the Edomites, right? But his spirit is going to be within us. That's why we got to be changed within the twinkling of an eye.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you're gonna have his anger. He said, you're gonna do according to my anger.
That's right.
United States of Earth. Somebody said, welcome to the United States of Earth. Yeah, man, it's over,
Yeah,
man.
that's true. Yeah.
But I don't want to hold on to brother too long. I know he said his phone about to die, man. So we can close out, brother.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna if you don't mind, I was gonna close off the lesson with Joel. It's like the book of St. John, chapter 10, verse 10. It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy, and that's talking about Esau. Basically, what those individuals we're talking about is this right here. Okay, when Esau went over there in so-called, land of Africa, which is, that would be, I wouldn't say the land of Africa, but that land belongs to the Israelites at the end of the day when the kingdom, is established. We're gonna take over that area. But when he went over there as a fucking thief. Okay, to what? To steal, kill, and destroy.
This nigga talking about you're not supposed to kill anyone. Everyone is led by the false second coming. Anytime blood hits the ground, it's a blood ritual. Shut the fuck up, man. Hey, you're gonna be a blood ritual, man. You know what you're talking about.
You're gonna be a barbecue baked chicken when the missiles come, bro.
He's and the elite got something prepared for that idiot over there, man.
Hey, but that's go ahead,
because no, you go. St. John 10:10. It says the thief come not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. And that's where Yahushua came from, man. He came for the Israelites. Some of the elect might have life. Through starting by receiving this knowledge first, then eventually, when Yahushua makes his second appearance, that's when we're gonna have everlasting life.
That's right. Immortality, baby.
Immortality. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And then Peter, he said it better. Apostle Peter said that we're looking for a new kingdom, new heaven where righteousness dwelleth, and that's what we're looking for, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes through Yahushua, not through this goddamn demon Esau that Hakan Hassad want to save. Nah, man, that Esau right now he's planning on how to destroy the 2,000 of our people. Okay, how are we gonna destroy these niggas? By what? By the microchip. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be done.
Yeah.
So that's my take on that, Akim.
Yeah, man. That's all I got, big bro.
Yeah, Khan. So with that, Akim, once again, we pray that you have been edified. All right, we pray that the lesson has also been exhorting and straight to the point as always. And with that, closing out, giving all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rakah, HaKodash. Once again, double honors to the beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who grew well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David. And so on to the next. Abaratazah. Shalom.
Shalom.